Hello and welcome to Smashing Gaming, my name is Will, and today we have a deck list featuring Blaziken VMAX and Zeraora V. We're going to be pairing these two up with the new Earthen Seal Stone, which allows us to use the move Star Gravity that reduces all of our opponent's Pokemon's HP as long as they're Vs to 100 HP. We can hopefully then follow that up with using Zeraora V's Cross-Fist attack that does 100 to the active plus 160 to one of the bench Pokemon. And hopefully, if I'm doing this correctly, because I am a dafty after all, and being a big dafty, last time I recorded a video I forgot to put the microphone on, so I did a whole live stream with no mic. Yes, dafty sign here. But if you do like the content I create here on Smashing Gaming, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button or leave a comment below. All comments are welcome and they do help me improve my content here on Smashing Gaming. So with that, let's get into the deck list. Okay, you can see the full deck list on the screen here. I will put a link to the PokemonCard.io list below. I'll also paste the deck list as well so you can copy and hopefully get some wins with Zeraora and Blaziken. Do leave a comment below if you do get any wins or if you have any recommendations for the deck, because I would like to know others' ideas. So with that, let's get into the Pokemon. So, starting off, we have Blaziken V. Blaziken V is a fire Pokemon. It has 210 HP, it has a retreat cost of 2 and a weakness to water. It has 2 attacks. First attack, High Jump Kick, does 50 damage for 2 Colorless Energy. And the second attack, Fire Spin, for 2 fire and 2 Colorless Energy, does 210 damage, and you get to discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Blaziken VMAX is a fire Pokemon. It has 320 HP, it has a retreat cost of 2 and a weakness to water. It has 2 attacks. First attack, Clutch, that for 1 fire energy does 60 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't tree. Now this actually would come in handy if you can get something trapped into the active and then follow up with a Cross-Fist. This would be a great 1-2 kind of combo. Blaziken VMAX also has the attack Max Blaze, that for 2 Colorless Energy does 130 damage, and you get to choose 2 of your bench Rapid Strike Pokemon and attach 2 energies from your discard pile. That's why it's so important to have things like the Quick Ball and the Ultra Balls, and even the research to get that energy into the discard pile. So next we have Crobat V. Crobat V is a dark Pokemon. It has 180 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1 and a weakness to fighting. It has 1 attack, Venomous Fang, that for 1 dark and 1 colorless energy does 70 damage and our opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. However, Crobat is mainly in here for his ability Dark Asset, and when we play this Pokemon from our hand onto the bench, we get to draw until we have 6 cards. Next, we have Empoleon V. Empoleon V is a water Pokemon. It has 210 HP, it has a retreat cost of 2 and a weakness to lightning. It has 1 attack, a Swirling Slice, that for 1 water and 2 colorless energy does 130 damage, and we move an energy from this Pokemon to one of our bench Pokemon. Again, this comes in great synergy with Rapid Strike Zeraora. It also has the ability Emperor's Eyes. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, our opponent's basic Pokemon in play have no abilities, except for Pokemon with rule blocks, for example Pokemon V and Pokemon GX. Next we have Lumineon V. Lumineon V is a water Pokemon. It has 170 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1 and a weakness to lightning. It has 1 attack, Aqua Return, and for 1 water and 2 colorless energy does 120 damage. And you shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into your deck. However, Lumineon V is in here for its ability, Luminous Sign, and when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you can search your deck for any trainer, and you can reveal it and place it into your hand. So this is great for grabbing bosses' orders, or Serenas, or researches when you need them. Next, we also have Manaphy. Manaphy is a water Pokemon. It has 70 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1 and a weakness to lightning. It has 1 attack, Rain Splash, that for 1 water energy does 20 damage. However, Manaphy is in here for its ability Wave Veil. That means you get to prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this is really the reason for Manaphy, because we do have to respect those spread decks. Next we have Remoraid. Remoraid is a water Pokemon. It has 60 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1 and a weakness to lightning. It has 2 attacks. First attack, Water Gun, that for 1 water energy does 10 damage. And the second attack, Sharp Fin, that does 20 damage for 2 colorless energy. Now Remoraid is mainly in here, so we can evolve into its evolved form, Octillery. So Octillery is a water Pokemon. It does 110 HP, so it has 110 HP. It has a retreat cost of 2 and has a weakness to lightning. It has 1 attack, Waterfall, that for 1 water and 2 colorless energy does 50 damage. However, Octillery has a rather useful ability, Rapid Strike Search, that allows us to, once per our turn, we can search our deck for a Rapid Strike card, reveal it and place it into our hand. We can then shuffle our deck. You can't use more than 1 Rapid Strike Search per turn. We also have Passimian. Passimian is a fighting Pokemon. Passimian has 110 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1 and a weakness to Psychic. It has 1 attack, for 1 fighting energy, Fling allows you to do 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Passimian also has the ability Throwing Coach, that allows our Rapid Strike Pokemon's attacks to do 30 more damage to our opponent's bench Pokemon V and Pokemon GX. So this is kind of like a choice belt or a scope, but in the form of a Pokemon. And lastly, we have Zeraora V. Zeraora V is a lightning Pokemon. It has 210 HP, it has a retreat cost of 2 and a weakness to fighting. It has 1 attack, Cross Fist, that for 1 lightning and 2 colorless energy does 100 damage. And if one of our other Rapid Strike Pokemon used an attack during the last turn, this attack also does 160 to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon. So really the goal here is to use Blaziken and then go into Zeraora, but we can also use Zeraora into Zeraora or another Rapid Strike into Zeraora, so that's kind of the real reason here. So with that, let's get into the trainers. So starting off with the trainers, we have Avery. Avery allows us to draw 3 cards, and if we draw any cards in this way, our opponent must discard Pokemon until they have 3 remaining. This is quite useful for against things like Regidrago or things like Hisuian Zoroark that have to have a full bench of Pokemon. Next we have Serena. Serena allows us to either choose one of our opponent's benched Pokemon V and pull it into the active, or we can discard up to 3 cards from our hand, and if we do, we get to draw until we have 5 cards. Next we have Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball allows us to discard 2 cards from our hand, and then we can search our deck for any Pokemon, whether that be a basic or a evolution. We also have the usual copies of Quick Ball. Quick Ball allows us to discard a card from our hand. We can then search our deck for a basic Pokemon. This is just great for getting set up and for finding things like Crobat or Lumineon V when we need it. We also have 1 copy of Bird Keeper in here. Bird Keeper allows us to switch our active Pokemon with one of our bench Pokemon, and if we do, we get to draw 3 cards. Bird Keeper works well with Tower of Waters and also comes in handy if we get stuck in the active. We have the usual copy of Boss's Orders. It's simply Great Gusting. We just pull one of our opponent's bench Pokemon, regardless if it's a V or not, into the active. We also have the new Earthen Seal Stone. This Pokemon tool allows us to attach to a Pokemon V, and it gets to have the V-Star power, Star Gravity. Star Gravity is an attack that, for 3 colorless energy, we get to place damage counters on all of our opponent's Pokemon V until they have 100 HP remaining. Next we have Tower of Waters. Tower of Waters reduces the retreat cost of all of our Rapid Strike Pokemon, so we can retreat for free. We have the usual copies of Marnie. Marnie is in here as Great Shuffle Draw. You get to shuffle your deck into the bottom of your, you get to shuffle your hand into the bottom of your deck. You get to draw 5 and your opponent does the same, but they get to draw 4. We also have a few copies of Professor's Research in here. Professor's Research allows us to discard our hand and then draw 7 cards. This is simply Great Dump and Draw. We also have a copy of Super Effective Glasses, which allows our Pokemon to do 3 times more damage if our opponent is weak to us. So this comes in particular handy if we're against a Lugia, as Zeraora's Cross Fist only normally does 100. So as long as we have Super Effective Glasses attached to Zeraora, we'll be doing 300 damage, taking a knockout on Lugia. Next, we have a wee bit of a fun tech here, and that is Friends in Galar. Friends in Galar just allows us to draw free cards, and I just like the artwork on the card. So with that, let's get into the energies. So with the energies here, we have 3 different types of energies in the deck. First off, we have Speed Lightning Energy. Speed Lightning Energy, when attached to a Lightning Pokemon, allows us to draw 2 cards. This can be attached to other Pokemon, but we don't get any ability for it, and also it doesn't count as a Lightning Energy. Next, we have Rapid Strike Energy. Rapid Strike Energy counts as both a Fighting and a Water Energy, and counts as 2 of those energies, so it's great for powering up Rapid Strike Pokemon. And lastly, we have Spiral Energy. Spiral Energy can only be attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon. This does mean that we can't attach it to anything that's not a Rapid Strike, and as long as it's attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, it provides 1 of every type of energy, so it can count as a Fire Energy for the Clutch move, for example, or it can count as a Electric Energy for our Zeraora. It also means that the Pokemon it is attached to cannot be paralysed, and it recovers from that special condition if they are paralysed. So with that, let's get into some games. Okay, here we go with Blaziken and Zeraora. Hopefully we can get a few wins. I do apologise as always if you hear any snuffling or woofing, as my 3 puppies are currently being naughty at the moment, so we'll see. Hopefully we can get a win here. See what we start with. I have changed the layout here, so I'll put some information below, like maybe if I'm talking about a card or something like that, I can place it below. So that's the reason for the layout change. It's also, I think it just looks a bit nicer, a bit more cooler, a bit getting a wee bit fancy here. So let's see, our opponent is going to decide if they get to go first or not. I didn't see their deck box, so I didn't really give any hint to what they're playing. Okay, so we are got a Manaphy Crobat start, not the best start. Okay, so it's going to be Regigigas. I think the Earthen Sealstone, we'll need to try and time it for when we play it. I can't remember how much health Regigigas actually has. I imagine our opponent will be playing the Leafeon build, so they will have a Leafeon and a Regi. Okay, so we will take the mulligan. We do get Blaziken. We do have Bidoof and Regidrago V. Ideally, I think, as much as I hate to play the Crobat so early on, I think we might have to, just to get set up. The best strategy we have is we want to get the Earthen Sealstone attached to the Blaziken. Did I just see an Appleton there? Okay, so they're playing Appleton so they can use the one that does attacks to Vs. Can't remember, its name is Appleton as opposed to Apple Drop. No, Flapple, sorry. Flapple's the one that does the Apple Drop, and then you've got Appleton that does the damage for Vs. So this is an interesting build for Regidrago. Okay. So we do get a research. I think I'd want to keep the... I think we'll get rid of the effective glasses. We won't need that. We'll get rid of Octillery. We'll get ourselves a Zeraora. Also, I just want to have a look to see if we do have the Earthen Sealstone. Yeah, so we can discard this one that we have. Well, should be able to play down a full hand here. I'd like to get an Octillery, a Remoraid set up. So we do. So we get ourselves a Remoraid. Let's see how else we're finding stuff later on, and I think really we want to draw into rope here, so I think what we'll do is we'll just go for the research. We'll go for the research. Okay, so we do have the double, it's not double turbo, the Rapid Strike Energy here. We have Tower of Waters, but sadly Tower of Waters doesn't actually affect Manaphy, so we'll just have to hold our hand now. We do have the electric energy in the bin, so we can use Blaziken's Max Blaze attack to do damage. Flapple, I think you get to place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you reshuffle them back into your deck. Interesting idea having Flapple. There's another Appleton coming in. Most people play Reggie with all the Vs. I did see a Dragonite though, I did see that on the mulligan, so they will be able to accelerate energy. So the Flapple, where's he going to place energy? He's going to go for the Blaziken, which is fine. We don't mind the Blaziken going down as long as we can get off a Max Blaze, because that allows us to accelerate the energy to our bench Zeroras. There comes the Celestial Roar, so they're now powered up. We did get a Regidrago into the bin though, that is good for us. So we'll attach the speed here, and then we'll retreat the Manaphy. It does mean we don't get the draw off of the speed lightning, but that's fine. And we will go for the Octillery here. Also going to pitch away this Spiral Energy and get ourselves another Zeraora. This is so we do have options. So we will use the. Did I not use Octillery? I must have not used the Rapid Strike search. I think we do have. Do we have Korrina? Yeah, so we do have Korrina. So we'll take Korrina's focus. We can also do the Tower of Water, and we will Korrina's focus. We do get the Escape Rope, so that's going to be useful. So for now, let's go for Max Blaze. We'll get to do 130, and we get to accelerate 1 electric to both of our Zeroras, or 1 to each of them rather. And we will pass to our opponent now. Reggie is kind of scary because they can one-hit KO if they are playing something like Giratina or the other annoying dragon Pokemon would be Suing Gudra with its rolling iron attack, which does mean that they do 200 damage and they then take 200 less. I've not seen this Flapple played, so what does this one do? Attach up to 3 basic energy cards from your discard pile. Crows fast as your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Okay, so they do have the V-Star and they are going to go for Legacy, so they do have the Gudra and the Dragonite. Now that is really a good use of their ability there. I was saying, so roll the star does 200. They aren't taking the knockout on the Blaziken, so that's good for us. So we do have large chat. I think probably a big, yeah, we'll use Rapid Strike energy. We'll pitch away the one in our hand. We'll accelerate the Rapid Strike energies, and we'll go for, well, we don't need to use Star Drop. I think there's no real much need for Star Drop. We can, okay, so we're going to rope us, so we'll just put the Manaphy. We don't mind that, they're not doing any bench damage anyway, so that's fine. We can also rope our opponent back. We have Crobat. Let's see what they come up with. For trekking shoes. So they are 2 switches down though. I like the fact that 2 switches, and they are, all the level balls are away, so I don't know if Flapple's going to be that big an issue for us. We could rope them and then Serena next turn. We don't get a knockout on the Reggie, but we can bring its health down even further. And actually with the Crobat as well, Star Drop does mean that we do have a 2 prize are sitting there. They are going to use boss now. I wonder what they're going to boss up here. So they want to hit the Crobat. Either way, that's fine. Imagine they've got a scoop up now. Okay, so they are just going to pass to us. Okay, so let us use Rapid Strike. I want to get another Rapid Strike energy, and hopefully we do have one. Yet we do. We can attach that to our Blaziken. We'll use Rope to get ourselves out of the active. I think we might try and trap. Yeah, we don't want the Crobat, we want to get the Regidrago, and we will use Star Gravity. So that puts Crobat down to 80 and Regi's now, so they both now have 100. We now need to attack with Max Blaze, and then our Zeroras are now set up. Pretty sure the attack doesn't really count. I mean, the status on it is that it's Tower of Waters and Manaphy, so the boost that Zeraora gets when we use a Rapid Strike attack doesn't count when we use the V-Star power. They're going to get themselves another Regi set up, it looks like. We can still hit the bench though. We can still do 160 to the bench if we can get this Max Blaze off. So we want to pitch this Rapid Strike into the discard pile, and then we should be sitting good after that. So we attach Fire Energy to the Flapple. We'll use Gardenia's Vigor now. Sadly they can't attach to any Regis because they don't have any on the bench. Okay, so I expect a Rolling Iron here, which does mean we're only doing 30 to the active, because I think it's 100 less they take, or is it 80? Is it 100 or 80? Okay, so they take 80 damage less. So they used, it looks like they used Draconic Impulse. Okay, so I didn't realise that that was going to happen. They have had to discard a lot of energy here. So we will go into the our Blazikens. Also attach the Rapid Strike energy here. I think what we'll do as well is we will put the Passimian down, and we will Marnie our opponent, just give them a smaller hand. We still hit them for 100 though. So this Regi is going down. Oh no, so it does count. Okay, so it does actually count. In my head the star drop didn't count, but okay, so we can take look, I think what we want to do is probably put the 160 here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put the 160 onto the bench. We could have took 4 prizes there, but I think this is a better option. We can also boss up the Regi again, but as long as we can get another Rapid Strike energy, we can retreat and use the other Zeraora. So if one of you or other, so yeah, so we have to retreat. This is a new Pokemon, so it should be fine. We also get the boost from Passimian. Can we take a? They've got 30 on that one, and they've got 100 on ours. So actually, we might be able to take, if they don't evolve this Regi, we should be able to take 4 prizes this turn. I think, as long as my math's correct. But they may be going to evolve it here. Yeah, they're going to evolve it, but they have already used the V-Star power, so this is, I mean, personally, if it was me, I would have went for the evolving the Bidoof, but we'll see what they do. So we're going to use what are they doing? Attach up to 3 basic energies. Okay, so they're accelerating energy with the Flapple. I think what we'll do is we'll boss and we'll take the KO. So we really need to get the Rapid Strike energy here. Hopefully it should be game. So we've got Friends of Galar. Oh, don't tell me I can't use that Rapid Strike ability. And as you can hear, my puppies are now deciding to be woofy. So we'll see if we can take this knockout quickly. So we want to go into our bench one, and we'll boss up the. We want to boss up the Crobat, and we'll go for a cross fist. We'll get to place the 160, and that should be game. So that's one game with Star Drop and Cross Fist. We'll take the other two prizes. So with that, I'm going to go and make sure my dogs have enough water and food, and make sure that they might need it for peas, and then I will be right back with another game. Okay, that's the dogs all walked and had their peas. They're currently resting now, so let's see if we get another one with Blaziken VMAX and Zeraora V. The decks we want to verse against, probably not Mew, which looks like this could be Mew. Although, if we get an Earthen Sealstone off at the right time, it would be good. So hopefully we can start with a Blaziken. That would be awesome. Although they will threaten us with the Meletta play. So I'm tempted to go for the Passimian. We'll see what they have. So this is going to be Dragapult. Okay, interesting. I'm not versed against Dragapult for a while. Dragapult is obviously very good at dealing with one prizers because it gets to do 130 damage to the active and place 5 damage counters. So as long as our opponent does bench multiple VMAX Dragapults, we should be in good state here. And I think with our current setup we might be able to play down our entire hand, assuming we've not benched Crobat. I don't think Manaphy is going to be much use here. We do have Ghastly and Dragapult V. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of Manaphy, because Manaphy sadly doesn't stop the bench damage. We'll get ourselves an Octillery. Also going to get rid of the Octillery as well. We do have Crobat, we do have Zeraora, so we have prized one Zeraora, or two, is it two of our Zeroras we priced? Yeah, we've prized one of our Zeroras. We've prized, do we prize any Blazikens? I think we have prized 2 Blazikens. Okay, so we'll take our Blaziken there. We do have all the VMAXs. We have prized 2 Serenas. We've prized 1 Towers, and we've got Earthen Seal. Okay. For now, we're just going to here. We'll also go for Crobat just to help us get set up a wee bit more. We're not to worry about if Crobat gets knocked out. We do have the Escape Rope, so I think what we'll do is we don't need the Empoleon. We get ourselves another Zeraora V. I think we'll end our turn here. Assuming our hand doesn't get disrupted by Marnie, we should be good to set up. So we are going to attach to the Dragapult. We're going to go for Crushing Hammer. It's going to be painful. Okay, luckily for us that they got Tails. Do they have another one? They're going to do Bite and then pass to us. That would be ideal. So they're going to, okay, so we're going to boss up something. So at least we do have, oh, they're bossing up the Blaziken. Okay, that's exactly what I would have wanted. Okay. We do get to play VMAX as well from the top deck, so this is looking quite good. I think what we'll do is we will get rid of the Speed Lightning Energy into the discard pile, so we can start accelerating energy. We'll get rid of this as well. That's all good. We will attach the Speed Lightning to this Zeraora. We do get the Earthen Sealstone as well, so we will go for Max Blaze. We'll bring this Dragapult V down to how much left? 180 HP, so they will have to VMAX it. If I remember rightly, Dragapult VMAX has 120 HP. We'll go for Capture Energy. Are they going to get themselves another Dragapult set up? Now, if they do get another Dragapult set up, we're actually in not too bad a state here, because if we hold now, okay, so we're going to go for DD. Interesting, so they're going to try and heal, and they're going to put Cape of Toughness on this Dragapult. And that's interesting, so that gives them 150 HP. So they're just going to keep using Bite, so I think for now we just still hold off attacking with the Earthen Seal Stone, but what we can do is use Zeraora to get some chip damage in on this benched DD. So we'll go for 100 and 160 to the bench. So we do take the knockout on the DD actually, that's looking good. Best Tower of Waters and another Zeraora V, so we'll see what our opponent does here. If they don't, then I think we can take the game here. Yep. So that should be game to us now. All we have to do is use Octillery here, grab a Rapid Strike Energy, luckily we didn't prize them all. Go to our bench, Zeraora, retreat, and we can take the knockout on the benched and the active opponent. So that's 2 prizes to us. And that's Blaziken and a Serena, and what's the last prize? We'll go for number 6, and it's a Remoraid. Okay, that's another game with Blaziken and Zeraora. So with that, I'll see you in final thoughts. So welcome to Final Thoughts. So for the deck, starting off, I think the deck I would give it probably, I was rating it out of 5. I'm going to come up with a wee rating system I think myself. I would probably rate it a 4. The reason for that is in the current meta, because Lugia is so going to be so good going forward, and it's going to be played a lot. You do have a chance of taking one-hit KOs on Lugia with Zeraora and the super effective glasses. You could also use Cross Fist as well with the Earthen Sealstone, do that kind of 1-2 kind of combination. The problem is that to kind of pull it off that kind of wombo combo kind of process is kind of difficult, and Lugia is just so consistent. You know, it gets the Archeops into the discard pile, they can then use it, and once they've got the Archeops onto the bench, it's kind of all she kind of wrote. Unless of course you can get a really good Cross Fist off, you can take a knockout on the Archeops, which is really the heart of Lugia. So yeah, so that's kind of just some random kind of thoughts I have on the deck. I probably will play the deck for a wee bit more. I'd like to see if I can improve it, or even just because I do really enjoy playing Zeraora. You know, doing the bench damage and also even the VMAX. You know, doing 60 times the number of abilities. I don't know if I could somehow squeeze that into the deck list. I'm not sure what I would cut though. But yeah. But with that, trainers, we live to battle another day. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button.